Good Wednesday morning to you all, and we are doing another Watchmen update here. We got Spanish speakers in the United States now reportedly panicking over the egg shortage. This is going to make things even worse, but in Spanish-speaking media, they are talking about this nonstop, and apparently a lot of people are going to the store and grabbing up as much as they can because of this. We got another 1 million plus egg layers put down. We got China hitting back with against the U.S. with tariffs, and the German Navy is having sabotage problems. America might actually get repaid for the conflict in Ukraine and all the money sent there, so that's a pleasant surprise, potentially. We got an ultimatum issued to Hamas in Gaza. Also, we have a huge tuna recall due to botulism, so it's not one to take lightly, and this is major places that you probably have shopped at: Walmart, Trader Joe's, HEB, other places. We'll talk about that. And we got a whole lot of other Watchmen updates and a story about people being able to put their preps into action. Another family has cold weather water issues, but was stocked up and prepared. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over, and the stories of you guys being prepared too. I know that has been a popular point recently, people wanting to hear some of the good news of how being prepared has helped people out. So if you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets us to the right place. And we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help make this all possible. They sponsor these update videos, and they've been a great partner for years. And they never tell me what to put on here. They just believe in what we do and what we're doing here as a community. So if you want to talk to someone who gets it when you talk about your retirement portfolio, Jonathan and his team can talk to you about what it looks like to get into physical metals like gold, silver, and platinum. There'll be a link at the end of the video for you to find out more. All right, Ohio, 522,000 egg layers cold. Ohio, 233,000 egg layers cold. Ohio, 96,000 egg layers cold. Ohio, 389,000 egg layers cold. Now let's just round that off to about 1.2 million egg-laying hens have been offed by the government just in the last 2 days. So I'll just leave that one with you guys. Food for thought. Yes, the egg crisis is going to continue, and it continues to actually get worse. So you're going to be seeing egg prices continue to go up. Availability is going to continue to go down. Hopefully you guys are preparing. Do not expect the egg prices to come down at least for a couple months. And when they do, they're still going to be remaining at elevated levels, and that's assuming everything goes great. But the rate that we're culling birds right now, it's actually going to make the egg crisis get worse, not better. China has hit the United States with retaliatory tariffs on $14 billion of U.S. goods. That's not nearly what we hit them with, but as we are told by smug leftists and anyone who doesn't like Donald Trump, this isn't our problem because it's only going to hurt China, because apparently tariffs only hurt the country that actually implements them, according to those folks. But then you have to ask the question, why are they so upset that they're putting retaliatory tariffs against us if it's only going to hurt the United States? Yeah, think about that one. Anyway, Germany is investigating an issue of sabotage of its new warship, the Emden, after 50 plus pounds of metal shavings were dumped into the oil of the machine, of the main engine. If these were not discovered before they turned on the engine and started firing it up and going out to sea, this could have caused serious irreparable damage to the engine. So they almost had a warship taken out of commission. Not a cruiser, a Corvette. And moving over to the United States and Ukraine, Trump has gotten Ukraine to agree to repay its debts to the United States by sending $500 billion worth of rare earth minerals over the next several decades. Actually, it is getting our money back would be a pleasant surprise. Something that I think most Americans kind of weren't really anticipating. about the idea that that there's at least a payment schedule. There's at least a payment schedule, at least a plan for repayment of the United States for all the weapons and money that we have sent their way is a welcome change compared to Biden, who refused to put any kind of payment schedule in place, any kind of repayment plan. It was just, we're just giving you free stuff. It's nice having a business person actually running the government once again. Israel has issued an ultimatum that all hostages held by Hamas in Gaza must be released by Saturday. Or, as Trump, who is absolutely supportive of this, has said that they will find out what it looks like for hell breaking loose. Israeli Defense Forces are already massing on the border against Gaza because it looks like Hamas is going to renege on its agreement to release all the hostages. The last hostages that were released were in very bad shape, and the propaganda that was used against them and forcing them to read statements before they were released really infuriated a lot of Israelis. This is a follow-up on our report from the other day. 4 FEMA employees who were responsible for the $59 million payment to the New York luxury hotel for others staying there have now been fired. But I just want to put this out there. You know, I want you to just imagine if you stole $59 million from your workplace, doing something you knew that you shouldn't do, what would happen to you? Would you just get fired, or would something more happen? Hopefully something more happens in the near future. The Pope says Trump deportations damage the dignity of migrants. And in totally unrelated news, the Catholic Church has received approximately $600 million from the U.S. federal government since 2019, mostly for helping migrants. And just to put this in perspective, this is a global entity, not just the United States. $2.77 billion received by Catholic charities just last year from government entities as a whole. That's about that's over 2/3 of their budget. Over 2/3 of their budget comes from UN entities, European Union countries, other countries, United States government, all that wrapped together, $2.77 billion. So when the Pope stands up and starts talking about migrants, make sure you're envisioning him with a $2.7 billion endorsement from the governments. He's making that much money. He and his organization are making that much money off of that. And before we get into your reports here's the deal of the day. It's down in the pinned comment down below. 3 pounds of dehydrated chopped onions for $17. So this is McCormick name brand stuff. I have gotten a bunch of these. It comes in a paper carton, so you do need to repackage it, but you can repackage it into canning jars. But 3 pounds of dehydrated onions will level up your preps out there. So if you have your rice, your beans, other things taken care of, dehydrated onions will really make a difference in your life. Once again, that's down the pinned comment down below. All right, Velma says, and if you find a deal of the day like that helpful, let me know on that comment or on a separate comment. Do you want to have deal of the day kind of thrown out there? These are things that I buy. So I've bought a bunch of these ones already. Velma says, North Georgia, restrictions on chicken industry, we talked about those before, have been lifted. Elbert County, where the outbreak started, is still under quarantine, though. But the rest of Georgia is lifted from all those restrictions. A lot of people are like, this is a really big deal. And I told you at the time that I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. Cho says, canned tuna recalled from Walmart, Trader Joe's, HEB, and possibly elsewhere due to botulism. Okay, so this isn't something to play around with. Please check your canned tuna. These are non-name brand. HEB label, Trader Joe's label, Genova, and Van Camp label. Also possible generics. Do check your tuna that you got recently, canned tuna, to see if it's part of the recall. This is dozens of states from Texas up to New York, and then actually involves California as well, but not so much in like northern central U.S. But check out your canned tuna to make sure it hasn't been recalled. Writing by Benjamin says, Fort Wayne, Indiana. There have been, Aldi has had a 2 dozen limit on eggs for a while now, but Trader Joe's now has a 1 dozen limit here as well. Penny says, I'm glad I froze and dehydrated eggs while they were cheaper. Eggs are now $6 a dozen at Tip of the Met in Michigan. I have plenty to get by until chickens are replenished. Chicken thighs this week are $4.99 a pound. Glad I learned to pressure can and can a bunch last year. I also won't be buying those until they come down. Prepping then and saving now. That's a good way of putting it. Eve says, I went to my local Rural King and noted that their chick sales are shut down and heat lamps are turned off. Yes, it's winter, but even in winter, they carry some older chicks for higher prices. Not this year. It will be interesting to see what, if anything, they bring in for the spring. I'm guessing very little, if anything, but they might have some ducks or maybe some bronze turkeys. I doubt they will have any chicks, but we will keep you updated on that, everyone. Nick says, hi, Steve. I've gone to 4 different Walmarts south of Boston, Massachusetts this past Saturday. Every one of the Walmarts were out of eggs, only liquid eggs, which we've told you in a lot of cases only have about 40% actual eggs in them. There was a sign up on the fridge doors that read, limit 2 dozen per customer, and the price tags were removed. Georgia says, went to Walmart tonight, hardly any bread. Soup aisle was low, beef broth, chicken broth was low, coffee creamer was low inventory of eggs, $7 per dozen. No Eggland eggs, and rice was also low. I've never seen a neighborhood market so picked over. Please prepare your families. That's always good advice out there for everyone, isn't it? Sandra says, update, I work at Walmart in Southeast Florida. Yesterday I went to work. Our egg section was 100% full. So far, so good. When I left, 1 little container of 6 broken eggs was on the shelf. That's it. Found out Spanish news are panicking over this egg issue. So apparently we got the Spanish media, Spanish-speaking media out there, TV stations and newspapers and stuff like that. They've really latched onto this egg crisis thing. So apparently in communities with more Hispanics, we're seeing more of an run on eggs. So be aware of that as more and more communities inside the United States start to kind of move into panic mode. Remember how the toilet paper shortage happened? People just kind of lost their minds, and there were supply issues for sure. But this really kind of fed on itself, and then it just became a thing. So if you need eggs for the next couple months, you better get them now. Prices are going to continue going up, like I said, and availability is going to drop. And you're going to have more and more competition for the availability of eggs. So if they don't keep raising the prices, which it seems like these stores are loath to do, these stores seem to be rather having empty shelves in the egg section than having high-priced eggs, because people get madder about super high-priced eggs than they do about just no eggs being available, right? So that's the direction these stores are moving in. You better lock in your local supplies soon, because soon it's going to be just the places that are charging more for eggs, like your Whole Foods and these other places. They're the only places that are going to be having eggs soon, because your local grocery store just won't want the headache. Also be grateful when these stores actually provide eggs or something that's in shortage. When places provide things to you at a higher price, be aware they're paying higher prices and they're just passing that on to you. Smiling Grandma says, Northern Indiana. We're about to get 8 inches of snow on Wednesday, which is today, right? Well, Steve, thank you. I am stocked and have water stored up. That's one of the cheapest preps you guys can do, and yet it is the most powerful prep you can do. LED flashlights and lanterns, cheap. Definitely do that. But stocking up on water is even cheaper. Having water storage at your home. If you drink soda, wash out those bottles really well, fill them up with tap water, and then just put them on the shelf. If you want to rotate them every so often, use that water to water plants. Good job. Put some more tap water in there. Is it the best? Is there microplastics in there? Probably, but you know what? You'll be fine drinking it for a few days. You know what you won't be fine doing? Not drinking water for a few days. All right, so we had water stocked up. Thank goodness. We had spots that blew a pinhole water in the basement last night. I heard something and found the leaks. A lot of water to clean up. Plumber is coming today. Thanks to you, your pushing preparation, my husband and I are prepared for this. This won't hurt us. It's just a huge inconvenience. Friends, when the cough came, it was a huge inconvenience to some of us. To other people, it was a major crisis. The next crisis that comes, do you want it to be a major inconvenience or do you want it to be a major crisis for you? Inconvenience you can deal with. Inconvenience you have choices. Inconvenience you can make decisions. Crisis, you have to just accept whatever comes your way. Hopefully you guys are getting stocked up out there, and once, like I said, the cheapest prep you can do is stock up on some water. In a crisis situation, you'll need it more than anything else. Remember, when you get canned goods, you're buying a bunch of water in that can too, so that's a good thing too. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out what you can do with your retirement account and talk to Jonathan and Genesis Gold over here, there's a link right there. If you want to check out another video from the channel, there's one right up there. And if you want to get that deal of the day, it's down in the pinned comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.